Okay, welcome back everybody. Hope you all had a great Thanksgiving. Today we're looking at an $18.15 profit, which was the result of some choppy price action and some mistakes on my part. So why don't we just head on over to Thinkorswim to go over the trades and do a bit of reflection afterwards. Hopefully by watching this you can learn from things that I've done well and things that I haven't done well that you can implement in your trading. Here we are on Thinkorswim, and for those of you who have been watching these videos, you know the drill. Trade 1 was on MES with 3 micro contracts, and this was for the opening range break here at 9:37 Eastern Time. The issue was that I bought this break before the candle closed. In some cases that works, but in a lot of cases that doesn't work. And especially since today we had just a half day due to Black Friday, probably wasn't the best idea to be so aggressive. So I bought here at the break of this opening range high, but in 2 minutes I was already stopped out. So that was a loss. The second trade was on gold, and unfortunately that was an even larger loss. Let's look at that trade at 9:46 a.m. You see here how we have this break of the opening range high. Well, once again, I had to sell at a loss, and this time didn't have my stop loss set in place, so the trade lasted longer than it should have, and I lost more money than I should have because my stop is usually here at this midpoint, but I didn't sell until 9:48. The third trade was a little better, but it only resulted in a P&L of $3.75. That trade was another long on ES, and that was a little bit later in the session at 10:10, so not that much later now that I think about it. That was here. We just kept getting wicks and more wicks whenever we tried breaking this opening range high. There was a very tight range during the beginning of the trading session, so again, probably was the smartest idea to buy at this break immediately, but we did get all the way up to 668.50 just during this first move up from the opening range high. Then we had this retest, which is where I decided to sell. I was thinking, well, let's just see what price action does, and let me just get out of this trade at break even. So that was trade number 3. And trade number 4 was one that I took right after we had this retest, because we have 2 hammers and we also have a bullish engulfing candle. So I bought this candle here, and this ended up being my first profitable trade for the day. I closed at 68.51 for a $108.75 profit, closing my trade at 10:50 a.m. Eastern Time. So on this candle. After that, I had an even better trade on gold. This was another long, and I took this trade at 10:58 a.m. Eastern Time. I entered longs at the break of this opening range high again, hoping that we would get a continuation of this bullish reversal. The trend on the 5-minute chart was looking bullish. This is one of the reasons why I didn't enter a short trade here, even though that would have been a nice little scalp. So what happens when I enter this trade? Goes in my favor at first, price goes up, but we had a pretty big retracement. Then we had a bullish continuation afterwards. But I exit that trade at 11:29, which is right up here. Now, you might be thinking, wait, didn't gold cross below the midpoint of this opening range? Shouldn't that mean you should have gotten out of the trade right here? Well, my thought process was that gold is very volatile. So I decided to put my stop loss at the low of the opening range. And then my take profit would have been up here. So my idea was to have a one-to-one trade. Now that I've been trading on Topstep on this combine for 5 days, and also considering the fact that it's the end of the month, I just wanted to take some time and do another. Okay, well, what can be learned based on the trades that have worked and the trades that haven't worked? What are my takeaways? What will I keep doing, and what will I do differently next time to increase my profitability? Well, I have a few ideas that I've written down. The first is that thinking about reconsidering trading at the start of the session, like the first 10 or 15 minutes or so, there's just a lot of back and forth and choppiness, and it's hard to figure out the overall direction. It's easy to have the right idea, even if there is a strong trend in the pre-market, only to get your stop loss hit just because there's so much volatility during the market open. I'm not going to say I'm going to stop trading the market open completely, but I'm going to be more conservative with my approach. I'm going to take a closer look at what works and go from there, because I think the first 15 minutes or so is different beast compared to trading later on in the morning or in the afternoon. Another thing I've noticed is that even for the trades that have been successful, I've experienced a good amount of drawdown, which is not fun, as you all know. The reason that could be happening is bad entries. The idea behind my trades might not necessarily be bad, but if I'm frequently at the point where I'm experiencing drawdown, then the issue is that I may not be buying or selling at the right price. So I might be trading more retests, or that's something I'm definitely going to keep in mind and do some reflection on over the weekend. I'm going to work on developing a more systematic approach to trading. That's the kind of approach that always made sense to me. One where you're not relying so much on a subjective interpretation of the markets. Now, don't get me wrong, some intuition is necessary for manual trading, but I'd rather rely more on a system rather than intuition. That's just what makes me more comfortable. Another factor affecting market conditions. Another factor affecting market conditions is the half day today in the markets. Another factor affecting market is the holiday shortened trading session. During these sessions, volume tends to be low and volatility can be high. So I think moving forward, the best thing to do would be to either reduce size, trade more conservatively, or not even trade at all. If you made it this far, thank you so much for your support. I'll see you in the next video, and make sure to hit the subscribe button because I have a lot of cool content planned for you all. Content that I think will be entertaining and informative. Okay, have a great weekend. Bye.